Hey nerds, welcome to episode 77 of the Nerd Rundown podcast. Coming up this week, it's Quantum Mania time. Paul Rudd and the gang are back, and man, this thing looks spectacular. Spielberg just made our week with news that Twister is getting a sequel. DC may stop stepping on rakes and get it together with some new Man of Steel news. Jonathan Majors looks amazing in Creed 3, and we get a grumpy Tom Hanks. Thank you very much. For the NRDbox question, Meg asks us, and we reveal what movies terrified us. Ready? Hit it!
Hey nerds, welcome to another episode of the Nerd Rundown podcast, where we cover the latest in the nerd world of movies, TV, and more. I'm Darren Stemple. With me today is my co-pilot, Eric Herr.
Greetings, fellow nerds.
Greetings back to you, as I'm a fellow nerd. Making his triumphant return to the show, Mr. Jay Sparks himself, Jay Sparks, Jason Sparks.
All right, well, a happy Hubie Halloween to you folks.
That's hard to say, Jay Sparks.
Hubie.
And then say Jason Sparks.
So it's Hubie Halloween.
Hubie Halloween.
Hubie Halloween. Hubie Stank.
Hubie Halloween.
You can find us on our social media like Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, all at the Nerd Rundown. While you're there, hit the like and subscribe buttons. Any button you want, just push it. Be like Brett King in a new car. Push that button, see what it does. Sure, it'll be good. Even the audio only people, if you can take a moment out of your day, get on there, subscribe, hit like buttons everywhere you see them. Drop a NRDbox question. We'd love to give you a shout out. Because as you know, you can find us on all the major podcast services, but when it comes to YouTube, you can leave a NRDbox question. Before we get to a really fun rundown, let's hear a word from our sponsor, Combat the Chaos. Hey nerds, do you support your veterans? Do you support your first responders? Here at the Nerd Rundown, we support our heroes, not just the drawn heroes who wear a cape or throw a shield, but the real heroes who would lay their lives down so we can talk about whatever kind of nerd we are. Our new sponsor, Combat the Chaos, is a veteran-owned clothing company. They donate portions of all profits to veteran and first responder supporting organizations that are focused on mental health and suicide prevention. Veterans are at a 57% higher risk of suicide than those who have not served. This shirt is one of the items you can purchase if you follow the link to find them on Instagram at combat.the.chaos or at their website, combatthechaos.com. Now back to the rundown. And first on the rundown, Eric.
Yes.
Something we've been talking about quite a bit, lately, and how excited we are for it. We finally got our first official, as we've seen maybe some leaked footage, first official teaser released for Paul Rudd and his new movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Tell me about what you felt watching that trailer.
Awesome. I was super excited for this trailer already. I had observed illegally.
Yes.
Well, it wasn't illegal for me to observe it, but the clip is illegal in that I had seen a leaked copy of the trailer that they had during the the New York City Comic-Con. So,
was it
yeah,
New York Comic-Con?
I think the New York City they had a trailer that they had played for the audience and stuff, and so it was cool. So it was neat to be able to see it finally in HD. There were some things that were in the leaked trailer that weren't necessarily in this one that kind of gave a little more context and a lot more stuff in this one.
Juicy.
I thought with a lot juicier. We actually got to see Bill Murray speak in the other trailer, where in this one we just get to see his gorgeous face, which I'm like, golly day, I'm so excited for Bill Murray in the MCU. I really am. I don't know how long that's going to last, but I don't even care. It's going to be great. But we got to see the rest of the cast too. Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer, Evangeline Lilly, and then I don't know who the girl is that's playing his daughter, but and then of course the man himself, Kang the Conqueror, looked just downright chilling. Just, oh my gosh, he was unbelievable. So, and just in the little short span that we got to see him very, very quickly, I'm like, man, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be super, super cool. So I'm really, really excited. How about you? What did you think?
All those things, plus the look of the movie looks so good. I think Marvel's finally getting like out of the gray screen, where everything's gray in the background, and they've made all of their movies this year. So Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever also falls in this category. The look of the movie looks clean.
Yeah.
Super, super clean. I love the new look of it. But everything from even the recasting. So Catherine Newton is taking over the role from an actress who played Cassie Lang in Endgame, the older Cassie Lang, but they replaced her with Catherine Newton, who made it big on Big Little Lies. She's in Pikachu and some other stuff, but she's an up and coming actress, so they logged her into this role, and she's going to play the Stature role as well. So
was she in Supernatural? Is watching that trailer. That's like the second I saw her, I was pretty sure she was one of the characters in that.
I'll look that up.
Yeah, I think she was. But anyway, so we didn't get the juicy part of Kang talking to Ant-Man saying, "Hey, have I killed you before?" Which just shows how powerful he is.
Yeah, which was what was in the leaked trailer.
The leaked trailer. Yeah. But everything else, it was almost a brand new trailer. They rarely ever released the Comic-Con trailers as the official trailer. So this was all new stuff. The way they get into the quantum realm sounds scary, because you could see Cassie Lang built a
beacon.
A beacon for the quantum realm, and Michelle Pfeiffer's character, Janet, was like, this is not a good idea. So
yeah,
be interested to see how that plays
Sparks.
out.
Yep. Claire Novak. She played Claire Novak on Supernatural.
Yes, all right.
She also, you know what she looks? She looks like the actress from the second season of The Punisher. It's not the same girl, because I rewatched The Punisher recently. I was like, is that the same girl? And it's not, but they look very similar. And also, you could throw Sydney Sweeney in that category too.
I think Bill would disagree.
But we'll see. There may be a few more assets for Sydney Sweeney. I love that Evangeline Lilly has the short wasp hair from the comics in this. So those little comic details get me excited. Jason, is this kind of crept up on your radar? What do you think?
A little bit. I mean, to be honest with you, the trailer looks gorgeous. Like, it is just a beautiful trailer. But I was kind of waiting to hear you guys to lay out some of the context of it for me. So I really don't have a lot to add to it, other than, of course, I really was into the first two Ant-Man movies.
Yeah.
And so this is one, especially, actually, my wife was really, really into those as well. And so this is one we'll for sure, get a babysitter for and go check it out in the theater.
I would have not had Ant-Man as my number 2 best trilogy in the MCU. that was,
yeah, if you thought about it, yeah.
It's a weird thing to say, but I mean, you can't go against Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
He looks awesome in this. And I love the Employee of the Century.
Yeah. Well, I think
Baskin Robbins.
I think it's interesting to me that that you said that, Sparks, about your wife really liking it. And I think it's probably Paul Rudd's just overall appeal to people that just makes it like more palatable. Yeah. Like like I'll go, people who don't necessarily like superhero movies will go watch Paul Rudd because it's like, he's a likable guy, and I'll figure out what the what the movie's like. Like I don't
Oh, yeah.
have to know the whole backstory or whatever. Like
Right.
you know,
Even when he's playing a dick in a rut, he's
Right.
Yeah,
charming, you know.
Yeah.
he charms the pants off everybody. So yeah,
seriously.
yeah,
Well, it's a big introduction to King, who's a big villain for this phase, or this saga, really. Sorry, not just phase, but saga. And man, we'll get more Jonathan Majors later on in the show, but I don't think we can get enough of Jonathan Majors because he looks fantastic, and we get a good look with his purple helmet and his lit up blue face. So that was really cool. One quick shot. I mean, this is a teaser trailer. We're not going to get any story details. We'll probably get an official trailer around Christmas with kind of more the plot laid out in the trailer. So looking forward to that. But
right.
for now, this is exactly what I needed for this movie, knowing that it's Black Panther comes up next, and then this movie whet my appetite. And I mean, honestly, I wouldn't need to see anything more. I would love to see another trailer, but I don't need to see anything more for it.
Yeah.
Something else I don't need to see anything more that came out today. That I was like, okay, I'll watch that, was the first clip from Wakanda Forever, where you see the Dora Milaje, or the Dora Milaje, however you want to pronounce that, kick some butt, and the general, what's her name? Why am I forgetting her name all of a sudden? The general of the Dora Milaje, Michonne from Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Can I not remember her name? It's gonna drive me.
I'll look it up.
I love the bit she has in there, Eric, where she talks about, hey, this is the standard for us on the Dora Milaje, and
Right.
that's not changing. While I'm Okoye. Oh,
Right.
how did I forget that? Okay, Okoye. She has that great line about it. Not while I'm
because the one gal is like whooping some tail on these dudes with just the spears, just the tips of like what would be on the end of a spear, two of them, and she's taking care of business, and then she comes in and she's like, why are you not using your spear? Like they're having this argument while they're whooping these dudes' butt, which I thought was classic.
Like with not even like no exertion whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah,
like
which I thought was absolutely brilliant. Like I was like,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's like
That's,
not even
that's my fight. So.
they're not even breathing heavy, So
Yeah.
it's funny, but yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's just a clip. Good to see it. This is a movie that I don't need to see anything more. I'm excited for it. How about you, Jason? You excited for it?
Yeah. Oh, well, dude, absolutely. But the one question, and I feel like you guys probably addressed this at some point and I missed it, but is there any actual news on who is the next Black Panther, or is it going to be like a group, or like where's it headed? Do we know?
Yes and no.
I don't know. So do you know?
We're still speculating. We're still speculating because
it hasn't been confirmed. There was a TV spot actually that's released in the last week where the ending scene, the Black Panther, the new Black Panther, has the gauntlets on her hands that Shuri had on her hands during the battle in Infinity War at the end.
Right.
So it's like, are you showing us that to tease us that it's Shuri, or are you showing us to throw us off?
We might be getting tricked, but from all the trailers I saw, it does look like it will be a woman. I mean,
yeah.
based on like the silhouette in the suit.
Based on that ass in the suit. Yeah, it's definitely a woman. I don't think that I mean, the three main characters in this movie are women. You've got actually probably four.
Right.
Yeah, Angela Bassett, Okoye, Lupita Nyong'o, who plays Nakia.
Yeah.
So the women are going to carry this movie, and it just makes sense to have.
Well,
I mean, it makes sense to have
Riri.
Oh, and Riri Williams will be. I wouldn't consider her top 3 in the movie, but she'll be part of it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I thought you meant
Rihanna
Rihanna.
Series.
I thought you meant Rihanna when you said Riri.
Oh, well, it's funny you say that. Rihanna also did record 2 brand new songs for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So,
all right, well, good. She's involved.
there you go.
I'm not upset about that at all.
Yeah. Give me more Rihanna. Absolutely. Anyway, looking forward to this. it is going to end phase 4, which has been somewhat of a disappointment. So looking forward to closing out phase 4 and moving on to phase 5 with Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Right.
Next on the rundown, maybe one of the most exciting pieces of news I've gotten a chance to talk about in a very long time, and I just found out about it like 30 minutes ago from Eric. I'll let you take this one, Eric. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So big news coming out
I'm
of
too excited to talk.
big news coming out of Steven Spielberg's camp. As we know, he's the big producer for Amblin Entertainment. His
Whoever that guy is.
his production house. But apparently, the guy read a script and flipped out over this. Sequel to 1996 is one of our favorite movies from 1996, Twister, with Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton, of course. Bill Paxton, passed away sadly in 2017, but so he will not be making an appearance in this one. But it looks like they're going to do some sort of story
Maybe in a
about
photo or something.
about their daughter. Apparently, their daughter is going to be a storm chaser or something like that, and so Helen Hunt will probably reprise her role, and then hopefully
as Joe.
as Joe. Hopefully, they can bring back some of that original ensemble cast that really made that movie just
like the cow.
The cow will probably come back.
The other cow.
The other cow. Yeah,
the
I
other
think
cow.
that's the same one though.
Favorite heifer.
So
No.
So pretty interesting. Like they're talking about the script is already written.
I know. And Steven Spielberg flipping out over it.
Yeah.
Like,
and so they're also talking
so
about trying to
exciting.
get Dan Trachtenberg, who, if you watched Prey, if you watched the most recent Predator movie, Prey, he's not
Big
attached
right
to
now.
it. They're looking at him. They're also looking at the Bumblebee actor or the Bumblebee director Travis Knight. They were kind of targeting, if they could, Joseph Kosinski, but he's attached to the Top Gun stuff, so not sure. Sorry, the
Tom Cruise stuff.
Yeah, he's
basically.
attached to the Tom Cruise movie of some sort that might be coming. So, so we may not be
That would
able
have
to
been
get.
a good get.
Yeah, maybe I may not be able to get that, but yeah. So anyhow, some big news. Twister looks like he's going to get a sequel, and I'm not mad about it at all. So
It's not even an unrealized
right,
idea.
unrealized.
It is a realized
It is,
idea.
yeah.
Here.
Yeah, I'm always probably the number one hater on 30 year later or whatever it's been. Sad movies, but it's been 20, 30, almost 30 years, right? So
96.
and the only one that has not disappointed me so far was Top Gun Maverick. I don't know if you watched Hocus Pocus 2. That was that was another completely unnecessary sequel.
No comment.
Honestly, the one that pissed me off the most is Jurassic World.
Yeah,
I have not seen it, but I talked to my brother-in-law today about it, and he's like a from the cradle fan of Jurassic Park, and I mean, like almost like they can't do anything wrong. And he said he was really disappointed and sad about Dominion, and
the first one was good.
Watch it? And he was like, "Yeah, I guess watch it. I don't know."
Yeah, the first two were all right.
I liked the first one a lot.
Yeah, I liked the first one a lot. The second one was good up until the third act, and then the third act I just didn't really like, and then this third one was pretty disappointing. So
I was okay with the second one. The first one amazing, and I have not seen the third one only for a lack of free time to see it yet.
Well,
wait till you can watch it for free.
For sure. So Twister's sequel also did get me to play. I hit up the old Spotify or YouTube Music, whichever one you prefer. I did play Van Halen's Humans Being a couple of times because I forgot how much I mean, I used to be a huge Van Halen fan, and I forgot how much I dug that song. I thought it was a great song. So,
you talked about Bill.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say you talked about Bill Paxton passing away, but we also had another member of that cast pass away. And it's
Philip
really
Seymour
tragic
Hoffman.
to not have in the sequel.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, who really and we've talked about
Dusty.
we talked about it earlier. Yeah, we talked about it earlier that how amazing even the villain, like how amazing was that whole cast, like kind of top to bottom of like just great character actors,
Yeah.
one after the other after the other. I mean, Carrie Elwes as your villain, if you don't count the tornadoes as your villain, but you know,
I do.
Nope.
as your human antagonist, I guess.
Yeah.
He was
Because
really
you got to
great.
have one.
Yeah, you do. But Philip Seymour Hoffman, Alan Ruck from Ferris
Cameron?
Bueller's Day Off, Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Todd Field, who was Belzer, and you know, just a great.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
So, what number of Dorothy do you guys think that they're on by 30 years later?
Dorothy's 69, hopefully.
Yeah, Dorothy.
Dorothy's 69. All right.
All right, let's clean it up. Clean it up. We're moving on. Moving on. Speaking of Kansas,
man.
guys from Kansas. What about guys from Kansas?
What about guys from Kansas?
Who do we know?
Listen,
Who do we know is from Kansas?
we know a guy that wasn't born in Kansas, but he lives in Kansas
He
or
calls
grew
it
up in
home.
Kansas.
Yeah.
And he does call it home. The all-American boy, not Henry Cavill, but Superman is back.
Yes.
And it is Henry Cavill as Superman. So
Yes.
It is.
if you've paid attention to the show, we did Eric and Morgan actually did a really great segment on Black Adam a couple weeks back. Gave away a spoiler. So spoilers for Black Adam in 3, 2, 1. End credit scene has Henry Cavill back as Superman.
Yep. Mid-credit scene.
Wave him on now. Wave him back
You can
in.
come back. You can come back.
Come
now.
back in.
It's safe.
Did you see his social media post standing next to his own like what was that called, fat head or whatever, like the full body like Superman?
The post I saw was like a picture with the music, and then he came on and
Oh man,
like,
in the new suit.
you gotta go.
Back.
You gotta go find the one I'm talking about. It's a recent one from while they're shooting, and it's him standing next to the fathead, and he is more ripped bulky than even like the Superman standing up.
Dude.
His shoulders are like they're like this, man.
Oh my god, he's a massive.
That guy
man.
is a super man.
He's a regular superhero. Like in my mind, he's a massive nerd, and
he is super nerd.
Loves this stuff. So he's very excited to be back as Superman. So along with in the last week we've gotten some news. So we'll throw this all out there kind of little bit by little bit, but today he confirmed it. He wanted to wait till Black Adam had come out, and he didn't want to ruin that for people. And then in the last week we've gotten rumors that there's definitely a Superman movie in the works, but possibly a trilogy.
A Man
along
of
with some
Steel.
others. A Man of Steel.
Yep.
With just Henry Cavill, not like a Justice League stuff.
Right.
And then also there was some announcements on that James Gunn and Matt Reeves are working on secret DC projects. Probably can guess what those two are. Probably going to be Suicide Squad stuff and Batman, but who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to expand the universe out
So
from here.
what made this all possible? How's this happening?
Well, as you know, Warner Brothers and Discovery are merging, and with that merge, they've said goodbye to a couple people. One of them was the old president, or I don't know if he was president of DC, but Walter Hamada was the president that was released of his duties in the last week, and he was a big blockade, I guess you could say, on Henry Cavill coming back, because it was the guy who used to run Warner Brothers that didn't want him back. I'll look it up while somebody else is talking. But Eric, what do you think what are they doing over there at DC?
Well, you know what, they're doing a great job, I think. I honestly do. I think they're shaking up. They are looking at, okay, what properties do we have that were working, and what properties do we have that weren't working? And they are kind of tossing off the stuff that wasn't working or wasn't going to hit the way they expected it to hit. And so they're basically kind of taking what intellectual property they have and saying, hey, there was nothing wrong with Man of Steel. There was nothing wrong with Henry Cavill as Superman. No need to recast him. No need to redo that. Let's just keep hammering away on that. Let's put that in play. There is some interesting stuff around the Man of Steel too, because what we're looking at is a direct sequel to Man of Steel with Cavill in there. There is another Superman that's possibly in the works that Ta-Nehisi Coates is doing with J.J. Abrams, based on a black Superman. So that is still looks like it's going to be it's in the works. They're putting that together, and that appears to be something that's going to be on its own.
That better be Shaquille O'Neal.
Right. Shaquille may be past his freshness date.
I don't know, but he's got like a Superman bed, custom Superman cars.
He's already been Steel.
Dude.
I mean, come on. Look at that.
Dude loves his Superman.
Toby Emmerich was Warner Brothers chairman. Toby Emmerich. He didn't want Henry Cavill back, and neither did Walter Hamada. They're both out now.
Yeah.
So now it's like
good. I think that was a silly way to feel.
Yeah. So we're looking at Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves is going to expand the Batman universe. So as we know, they had a pretty big hit on their hands with the Batman that came out earlier this year. We're already looking at a Penguin property that they're putting together. Looks like we might get some more of the Batman Rogues Gallery stuff. So they're talking about maybe expanding that into some lesser known villains and things of that. So they may get their own spinoff. I did not see where they had Condiment King as one of the ones that they'll be working through, but who knows what's going to happen there. So
but I don't want to give that one away.
Yeah, that one I think was probably going to be, but as far as like the production,
the mustard.
Well, I guess part of the shakeup with Hamada leaving is so, and just to give you a little bit of inside baseball to this, the Hollywood Reporter had a really good article. I highly recommend reading it. I'll put it in the link. I'll link it in the show notes. So if you want to check it out, highly recommend reading it. But if you want to know like kind of the inside baseball around stuff, Hamada really was kind of a roadblock to a lot of different things. So DJ, our favorite guy from Black Adam, he really wanted to have the mid-credit scene, again, spoilers, so 3, 2, 1, with Henry Cavill as the Man of Steel. And Hamada said no. He said, no, we're not going to do that. And so DJ, not one to take no for an answer, went around him and talked to Michael DeLuca and Pam Abdi, who are the other big heads over there at Warner Brothers. And they both said, absolutely, let's do that. And so they put it together in the span of like a month. I mean, it was really, really quick, and they got it shot in the middle of September and put out there. It was really, really quick. And to think that Cavill is in that good a shape all the time to just like drop in and be like, hey, can you be Superman for yeah, I guess it's all right.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah.
I guess I'll
got these muscles in reserves.
Yeah, right. So we'll see how that goes, but it looks like there's definitely a fight going for some of the bigger properties. So they're looking at salvaging. I think it sounds like, they're looking at salvaging Wonder Woman. They're looking to do a third one, so they'll keep Gal Gadot on there. I know Meg's going to be upset with me about it, but whatever, I don't care. But yeah, they're going to keep Wonder Woman moving forward. I think it sounds like they're going to keep Aquaman moving forward. And even though I didn't like it, that's fine. Keep that going. But play the long game here. Build your characters and build this thing up individually, and then put them together. And I think you can do something. I think they'll be able to do something nice. So,
do you think DC has finally learned the MCU lesson?
Not yet. Not yet. But I'm hoping that they do, and I think they're on the right track. I'll just say I think they're on the right track in that they are searching for a person who has the vision of where to take these properties. But I do think that they are doing exactly what they should do, which is and DJ is a big player in this one. he has said, and I really think it's really, really important that people understand this, that DJ has said there are a lot of smaller DC properties or lesser known properties in the DC universe that you can take advantage of, and you can still have your tentpole guys, you can still have Superman, you can still have Wonder Woman, you still have all that Justice League stuff, but you can, and I think that's probably the best thing to do right now is to exploit those until you get somebody who can come on board and bring it all together, tie it all together, and then kind of push this stuff forward. So I think DJ's onto something, and who knows, maybe DJ's the guy to run the whole thing, but
do you have someone from the DC universe that does not have a movie that you'd love to see?
Green Lantern.
Yeah, the Green Lantern.
Easy.
Yeah.
I love the way you said that. Like, no, he doesn't have a movie already. There's not one.
There isn't one. There's never been a Green Lantern movie.
There was never one and didn't exist.
Ask Ryan Reynolds, he'll tell you it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Yeah.
All right. That was a hell of a rundown, Eric. Great job. That was very well put together. Almost like you were giving a PowerPoint presentation and kept pointing to the clicker. Next slide. I feel educated after that. I really do. So yeah, it's exciting. I mean, it's exciting in the sense that it feels like they're getting rid of some of the old guard that made the decisions that they made, and want new people in there to help steer the ship in the right direction.
Get some fresh blood.
Yeah. Next on the rundown, also very exciting news and news that's coming off the back of the end of season 1 of Rings of Power. But the Lord of the Rings has officially been bought by a company called Embracer Group, and they will now expand the Lord of the Rings Tolkien universe MCU style, meaning they're going to set up just solo movies for a little bit before they bring it all together for a big event movie. I've been doing quite the digging into the Lord of the Rings lore lately, learning a lot about the world that Tolkien built, and it is, holy crap, it's vast. I mean, it's dense. Like we said, dense a lot last week, but it is dense. There is a lot there. I mean, all the way to the beginning of the universe is how deep it goes. It's insane. So I am actually very excited about this news. I enjoyed Rings of Power for what it was. I don't know if it's going to expand on the canon in season 2. There's possibility of it, but they've already changed a lot from what they have. So it'll be interesting where they take it, or if it goes away after this news and Embracer Group just is like, look, we've got Tolkien from here. We'll move it on. I'll start with you, Jason. What are your thoughts on Lord of the Rings being expanded MCU style?
So this is really the first I've heard of it, and I think my initial question is kind of more along what lineage that they're going to start with to expand, and even like what race as a part of Tolkien's world. And I would personally really like to see a deeper look in. I know this is going to be a weird thing, but like into the dragons.
Mm-hmm.
So almost a strange perspective from their entire history. I think that would be really cool. I know that would be kind of unorthodox, but due to the fact that they actually do speak and they have
intelligent, yeah,
and they're intelligent, I think that would be kind of a cool thing to check out. Is like from
cool.
From early on with them, and maybe find out the origins of their powers and what like
why are they greedy?
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody is.
Gold.
Like if you can, you are, I think. But, yeah, I don't know. I think that would be really cool to see.
That's a really good idea. I like that. They are, like I said, they're going to do solo projects. So I'd love to see a young Aragorn, like a ranger, him just being a ranger movie.
Right.
That'd be sick. Or maybe, Legolas kind of got sucked into the Hobbit movies, and it almost lessened his character. But it'd be cool to see more. Like it actually, you know what? Legolas and Gimli go on an amazing uh road trip post Return of the King. That would be a cool movie to see. Is those two guys on a road trip? I don't know, Eric. What are you excited about?
I enjoyed Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings stuff, and I read the books, and I enjoyed them. But I wouldn't say I'm like a Lord of the Rings kind of fanatic. I'm really not a big fantasy person, despite my love for like the
Fantasy.
besides my love for Lord of the Rings and Willow,
Game
I
of
should
Thrones
say,
and Willow,
and Game of Thrones, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think
Not
the
a big
Game of
fantasy
Thrones
guy.
stuff, the Game of Thrones stuff, more interests me because of the political stuff that goes on there more so than the fantasy stuff. But I did enjoy Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, and I did enjoy the books and stuff. So, but yeah. So I think if we're expanding that universe, I think there's lots of stories to be told in that. Like you said, the content there is extremely rich and extremely dense, and just my knowing of Tolkien and his buddy C.S. Lewis, they both did a great job of kind of digging deep, and really watching the movies and knowing that Tolkien wrote those based on his experience, part of his experience during World War II in the trenches of World War One. And his experience in the trenches, I think, just makes it more palatable, I guess, or more enriching to me that he is taking that experience of war and turning it into stories or he took that the experience from war and has turned it into just an immense story,
Whole other universe.
that is just super cool. So talk about, I guess, the reverse of PTSD, just like turning such an evil thing into something of just amazing creativity is just pretty cool. So
it really is. If you do ever want to dig into lore of something, I feel like lore nerds out there, and you want to dig into something, just it's it's the guy I've been listening to on YouTube is fluent in Elvish, those kind of guys that
nerd.
Nerd.
This is like the other level.
We would never do that. We would never do that.
I mean, I would totally do it if I could and had the patience.
Good, I know. You know what? You know what else I think would be really cool? Would be to see Radagast the Brown. I think like the whole world built around him could be very interesting.
Man, I just listened to a video yesterday about the 5 wizards. There's 2 blue ones, and then there's Saruman, Gandalf, and Radagast, and about how the 4 out of 5 failed miserably at their job. And Radagast only really failed in the sense of he got too comfortable with the animals, and that's all he cared about. He didn't care about the well-being of Middle Earth. And then Gandalf became the greatest hero of all time out of any lore out there. The way he broke it down and made Gandalf the greatest hero, I'm like, yep.
And Gandalf of course deserves his own spinoff if they're going to do anything for anybody. But
here's the thing that sucks. That this is another thing I just learned about Lord of the Rings. So when the wizards came to Middle Earth, it was in the beginning of the Third Age, and they're Maiar, so they're kind of like angels,
right?
And they're ageless once they get to Middle Earth. So Gandalf looks old. No matter, you can't have a young Gandalf because he's supposed to be ageless, but he's
always been the same age since he got to Earth.
and well, he just doesn't age, and he the Valar make the wizards look old so that they look like wise men. So it'd be hard to have a young Gandalf. Anyway,
sure. I mean, I guess you don't really need a young movie, but there's so many adventures.
Ian McKellen's 85. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're gonna have to recast. but I think-
Harrison Ford.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
You want me to get in that suit? I'm
want me
not
to-
getting in that suit.
You want me to put that hat on? I don't wear that kind of
I'm not
hat.
gonna do that.
Oh man, good
And
job.
at least
Good job
Lord
on the
of the Rings,
Harrison Ford.
Thanks.
at least Lord of the Rings had a smart way of explaining the agelessness of their wizards, whereas I think the whole Harry Potter realm
Oh yeah, they started as kids.
with all the current stuff going on with the Fantastic Beasts movies, where it's not supposed to be all that far back, and you go from this young Jude Law, and it's supposed to be like 20 years later. You
Yeah, it's like
get
Yeah,
some
that's funny.
continuity problems, but
I
little
can't
bit, just a
because
little
I'm not into Harry Potter. I see these things. I'm like, who's Jude Law playing? I'm like,
bit.
Yeah.
he plays that old gray guy. Like,
Uh-huh.
like-
Dumbledore.
He sure
Dumbledore,
did.
yeah. Very excited for more Lord of the Rings. Next on the rundown, we had a really big trailer release. We mentioned it last week. We were just a day early on it. We got some Creed 3 posters last rundown, and then the next day, the day we released the rundown, they released the trailer for Creed 3.
I'm a mind reader.
You-
I'm a mind reader. I
you
called
were,
it.
You were there. You did. And called it looking good too, because this trailer looked great. Makes the movie very exciting coming out. Michael B. Jordan is directing it, which I did not know until he released the trailer himself.
Yep.
And then we got to see Jonathan Majors in action. Whoa. Does not look like he's going to be any part of Clubber Lang's lineage. It looks
Nope.
like it's just a throwback to Michael B. Jordan's character,
Yep.
childhood. So, Eric, what do you think about the Creed 3?
Looked amazing. Jonathan, whatever. Apparently, I think Morgan and I discussed this. I'll give all credit to Morgan. Whatever diet and exercise plan
Yeah.
that these guys are on, like it would be super cool to be on that. Like, it's super cool to have like a chef and a personal trainer like on retainer that you could just like be like, hey, I need all my meals, like I need all this prepped ready for me, and then
Need to eat 7 chicken breasts a day.
well,
Okay.
yeah, like if
Plain.
we talk about like Henry Cavill, like I don't know what I don't know what Jonathan Majors stuff was, but if we go back to like Henry Cavill's workout for Superman, he was eating like 5,000 calories a day, and working out just an insane amount. I mean, that was his job. Like his job was to just get that buff and that
That's
huge.
right. Yeah.
And so, like I said, shout out to Morg. We both, I think, would be on that diet plan and exercise plan if we could, but
Who wouldn't?
But man, but God, geez, man, I don't know if I could, like how much those dudes work out and how much. I don't think I could eat 5,000 calories if I wanted to. It wasn't like a pizza. Like I just eat 2,500 calorie pizzas.
I'm pretty sure I do that on a
Yeah,
regular.
I
do that.
Yeah.
I do that workout I'll do that diet plan all day long.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's not going to be the healthy 5,000 calories that they're.
No.
But
But watching Jonathan Majors, he's such a good actor, and so is Michael B. Jordan. They're both are just such good actors, and so watching the trailer just play out what this dude's about. What Jonathan Majors is about is, he feels like this. Michael B. Jordan's character took away what should have been his, what should have been his, and took away his life, and Creed got to live, didn't go to jail and got to live a life, and this dude went to prison for 18 years or something like that, and he got out and he's ready for some revenge. So it looks,
got them prison muscles.
yeah, it looks phenomenal. And I actually watched I watched a couple of behind the scene clips of them doing some workouts on the beach, and so Jonathan Majors doing like some pull-ups and some other stuff out there, and I mean, just looking ridiculous. And I'll tell you one thing that I saw in one of the clips. So I'm watching all these clips of like the behind the scenes stuff, and Jonathan Majors is just like, he's putting in just like he's having to do pull up after pull up after pull up, and it's just like even that big. and being that big it's probably not helpful. Like it's probably more of a harm than anything. After he gets done with filming these scenes, you know, everybody's like, oh, that's a wrap, and everybody starts coming over there, and Jonathan Majors is down on one knee, just kind of recovering, and Michael B. Jordan comes up next to him and kneels down next to him and like puts his hand on him, and they had like this moment, and I'm like, this isn't filmed, this isn't anything, like this is like somebody with a camera that's probably 200 yards away filming this scene. So this is a moment that Michael B. Jordan is doing because he cares about Jonathan Majors and the effort that he put in. He recognizes the effort, and I'm
And
like,
he
man,
probably gets it.
yeah, exactly, because he knows how much he works for all of that stuff. I mean, he looks phenomenal also in this. I don't want to downplay how good he looks, but just looking at that and seeing, like, if that's the type of director that Michael B. Jordan is going to be, I can tell you other actors will line up left and right to go work for that guy, you know, to be involved in projects with that, because he really took, it was a really cool moment. And I was like, wow. I mean, I already liked the kid as it is, but man, he's a good, he seems like a good dude. And, you know, that just shows me that he cares about the people that he works with, you know? So.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. I'd get in line to work with someone like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It comes out 3/3. So Creed 3 comes out on 3/3, and give me more Creed. This looks amazing. I'm sure we'll get one more trailer too as well. Next on the rundown, we get to the trailer train, and we're going to start off with one of the reasons why we do this is because we want to give you guys the opportunity to learn about movies you may not hear about. And this may be one, because, you know, Mel Gibson stars in this movie and he's had his troubles and is branded in Hollywood as such. So it's good to kind of see Mel Gibson maybe making a comeback. He's been in a lot of things recently. This one, he's headlining as a radio host who gets a call, and predictably so. I feel like if you watch the trailer, you felt like it was going that way. It's the guy that breaks into his house and is like gonna kill his family, and so he's it's a little ransomy, where he's like, I feel like he was like, kind of, give me back my wife or something, you know.
Right.
But what do you think On the Line, Eric? Mel Gibson.
Yeah, I thought it looked. I actually, as soon as I got done with it, I was like, "Wow, okay, that actually doesn't look terrible. It does look very ransom-ish, you know."
Yeah.
I could see that, but I don't think Mel Gibson is the age he was when he did, you know, Ransom the first time, and even in that one, there wasn't really any action on his part that really kind of did anything. So this one looks interesting. It looks like the building is wired for stuff, and this guy, you know, whoever is after him, has methodically thought through his revenge plan for, you know, maybe not playing whatever favorite tune, you know, this guy wanted or whatever. So you know, it's like, hey, I really wanted to listen to Poison's, you know, Every Rose Has Its Thorn, you know, but you never played it, and I requested it like 3 times, and now I'm going to kill your whole family for it. So
got back.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he was a big, maybe he was a big Skid Row fan and loves Sebastian Bach. I don't know. I don't know what his beef is. They haven't let that.
Maybe we'll find out.
Yeah, Jay, what'd you think of it? Did you?
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like there's potential for it to be a fantastic movie. I think that the premise is kind of loose and weird. Like, I think if you just gave me the premise of the film, I would have no interest. But I think some of the intensity of the trailer and what's out there, I'll get in. You know, I'll check it out. I don't know that it's like top on my list, but it's for. I think it's worth checking out.
Well, yeah, we're not. We don't do
I'm gonna go with that.
We don't put these on here to be like, you have to watch this.
Oh no!
This is us wanting to make sure you guys have some news. As Brian Castile says, I don't know about anything till you guys tell me. the greatest. My dad would never watch the Greatest Beer Run ever if we didn't mention it. So you're
Gotta
welcome,
watch it.
Dad. You're welcome.
I would never have had any interest if you guys had talked about it. I wouldn't have even have known what that was.
Exactly.
Yeah, can't
That
go
is
wrong.
cool.
Hey, there you go. You're welcome.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, seriously, thanks, guys.
the
But,
next thing
wait,
on the
wait.
rundown is interesting because of our age. I think this is a relevant storyline that we can all relate to. The Crown season 5 came out with a trailer. I have watched maybe 3-4 episodes of The Crown.
Mhm.
It just couldn't get into it. But I knew as they got closer to like even the Kennedy stuff and now the Princess Diana stuff, I would probably start getting interested in this trailer. Could be that, it's just a perfect music choice for The Crown, but or for this storyline with Princess Diana. But I don't know, Eric, do you think this is something you could pick up and watch? I know you said your wife watches it.
Yeah, the wife watches it. So, I don't know. I'm not a royal. Like, I think it's funny. I've seen a lot of memes when the queen passed away or whatever. It's like there were a bunch of guys and folks died fighting a war, so I don't have to care about a queen and a king. So, although I don't feel quite that negative about it, but I think Imelda Staunton, who is going to be playing the queen in this latest iteration, I thought she looked really good. I love Jonathan Pryce, another guy who's just a great actor. So I both those guys are on there. I'll end up watching it, like I said, because my wife watches it, so I'll probably it'll be on the TV and I'll see I'll see it. The gal who plays Diana, Elizabeth Debicki, looks pretty good. So I think I feel kind of the same way you do, because it's more real. I remember when my mom and my wife loved the Royals, and my friend Mindy, and they all love the Royals, and so you're gonna hear about it all the time whenever they're around each other and stuff, because they're like the Royals. But I remember when I was a kid, my mom took me to, my dad worked for the Air Force Reserve, and my mom took me to, my brother and I, out to Andrews Air Force Base, because the prince and the princess were gonna arrive, and so we got to see Princess Diana and Prince Charles, come into the airport there one time, and that was kind of cool, So,
Really?
yeah,
I think that's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of the Royals either, and I also constantly question their usefulness at this point.
right.
I mean, I think they're
Fair.
if
That's
anybody,
fair.
That is fair. Yeah.
if anybody was a figurehead, they're a figurehead, right? They're just
Yeah.
Yes.
they don't really do a whole lot. So it is kind of odd to continue that theatrical charade, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But I do actually think that some of the episodes, I have not watched even a full season, but I've seen probably 10 random episodes, and every one that I have watched was entertaining. I haven't had the time to sit down and add that to my list and go straight through it. I keep walking in on people like my wife or in-laws watching it, and every time I have it, I actually think it's a well done movie. The acting is fantastic. The scoring is really good.
Yeah.
I don't think that from what I've seen, I'd have a single bad thing to say about the show. I think it's really well done.
I think
It's won a lot of awards.
Yeah, it really has. And really the cast, because they've changed over the years as the characters get older, it's been pretty seamless when you go from one time period to the next time period to the next time period with new actors and actresses, and they've done a really good job. We get Matt Smith from Game of Thrones is on there, and
Matt Smith from Doctor Who.
Yeah, he was
Matt Smith from Morbius. Duh.
He was really bad, he did a great job of playing his character, because his character was not very likable, I think, initially, and
he's one of my favorite actors ever.
Yeah. So, but I think
in love with him.
the interesting thing, as much as you and I, Jay, I think probably have the same attitude towards the Royals. watching
And me.
and you, yeah, the
I don't love
watching
him.
this stuff when the queen did pass away, watching all that stuff, it doesn't matter what I think. I don't think it doesn't matter what either of us think about how useful they are. That country loved that woman, they loved, and you could see like all the people that turned out and like filled that square, because to them that's their heritage and that's their culture and
Tradition.
Tradition, and it still means a great deal to a great deal many of people who live in the United Kingdom. So I thought,
and in that way it does carry a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And I get that.
Yeah.
But I just, from a political standpoint, it's
right.
not.
Well, and I don't think they have any real power or anything to do anything like that anymore. So
Bittersweet Symphony.
Back to the show.
yeah, that was great.
Yeah,
that was
back
great.
back to the show. Bittersweet
So-
Symphony being the music choice for this trailer, just about perfect. That's like
Yeah.
that was what a choice. So
that somehow always works as
it does. It's
like
one of those songs.
dramatic, man. What was it?
Cruel Intentions.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Full Intentions movie. When that pops up, it's like one of the best scores ever. It just it's perfectly driving in that was that
Like a Porsche, wasn't it?
no, it's I think
Yeah.
I think it's a Jag.
well, I think it's a Jaguar. Regardless, beautiful car,
Yeah.
beautiful music. That
It just sounds rich,
It
You
is.
think about rich people when you hear
violins,
that
dude.
song.
I know it's the violin.
Yeah, it is the violins. Dun, dun, dun. Anytime I think about Cruel Intentions, I think about not another teen movie. Next on the trailer train, we got to see another 90s star, and really just overall star, not just from the 90s, but Tom Cruise gets to play an old
Tom
grumpy
Hanks.
man. Hang on, Freudian slip right there. Somebody said Tom Cruise earlier. In the show.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Tom Hanks, also another 90s star and overall star.
Yep.
I wasn't lying when I said that about Tom Cruise. Tom Hanks in A Man Called Otto. Very, very surprising trailer. I did not know what I was clicking on. Clicked on it, and after watching out, I think I laughed out loud literally 3 or 4 times throughout the trailer.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for this. If it's coming out during the holiday season, I don't know if it's a holiday movie, but it's definitely coming out.
It's gonna be in
the holidays.
It has a very specific vibe, and that is the grumpy old man vibe.
Yes.
If you watch those movies, like it's gonna be a holiday movie only because of the the turnaround, with that heartwarming relationship that turns the Grinch, with the heart.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It is a Grinch style movie, isn't it?
The Grinch, grumpy old man style flick, and it's gonna be great, man. I'm looking forward to watching that one with my entire family when they're out here staying with me for Christmas. I think that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yep.
Oh.
I agree. Great trailer. Looks really good. Very heartwarming.
Talk about subverting expectations.
Yeah. Well, I think it'll be neat to see.
What is this?
Tom Hanks has a reputation as kind of being the nice guy, and and so to see him in the grumpy old man type role is it's fun. Like I'm already like, okay, I want to see him as a grumpy guy, but one of the first line I think that he comes up with the dog going to the bathroom, where he's like, don't piss on my sidewalk, and then and then he's like, well, it was one of you who did it. I thought that was hilarious. So so it looks good.
Otto, OTTO.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Yeah, A Man Called Otto. Check out the trailer. I think you'll like it. Yeah.
It is. It looks super good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a tearjerker. I have a feeling.
So we were talking about scores just a minute ago with the Bittersweet Symphony, so let's move over to that.
Let's give an opportunity here for Jay Sparks to promote.
Oh yeah,
his first official project or first official movie since the Nerd Rundown was the first one.
So as Brett and May, my band, we just finished scoring actually not too long ago. but it is releasing October 27th, a full-length movie, which is a cartoon. There's season 1 already out, and it's called the Max and Patrick cartoon. So if you're looking on Roku or on YouTube, that's how you're gonna find it. Just type in Max and Patrick cartoon. Season 1 is out. It's got a lot of incredible cameos from a lot of underground hip hop artists. A lot, I think, if you're into that genre, you would know who are. And this movie is it was a lot. It was a lot to do. I had no idea what I was getting into trying to score a full length film, but it's about to come out, and I'd love it if you guys would take the time to just go to Max and Patrick cartoon on YouTube, or if you've got Roku TV, check that out, and let me know what you think. It's basically it's the Halloween special, and it is very much a gigantic zombie parody. So if you're into the zombie genre, this is every movie and every TV show you've ever loved. There's going to be some little thing in there for you. So please.
Awesome.
Jason said before the show, he's like, I can't wait for Morg to watch it and write down all the little zombie Easter eggs.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, that's gonna be a game I want to play with more.
Find them all.
Yep.
Let me ask you this, Jay Sparks.
Yes, sir.
What was it like scoring a movie?
Oh man, it's kind of it's stressful in a new way. Like normally when I'm writing music, it's kind of what do I feel, you know? Whereas scoring was more what do the characters feel and what's happening in the scene. And you realize, like, as I was playing around with writing stuff, like I realized very simply that if I wrote something dark to a scene, no matter what the dialogue was, all of a sudden the scene was dark. And if I was just joking around making something like all boppy and light, like the whole scene became a joke. It was like that's what happened. So I knew this already, of course, from loving music scores, but to try and do it was definitely an interesting experiment in finding out exactly how much that what you play changes the scene, and then of course this show is very, for the most part, like a kind of like a hip hop based like soundscape for the music, and that's how they were through their whole first season, and that's how they're going to continue on. I don't know if anybody listening is seeing like Aqua Teen Hunger Force or the Boondocks cartoon. It's like got that kind of a vibe to it. So there's always some underground hip hop artists that have songs that are playing in there, and a bunch of them have done songs specifically for the show. And so to go into this thing knowing that somehow I wanted to bring drama to certain scenes while also knowing that overall it had to carry that sort of hip hop vibe was something else, man. I mean, like, it's like writing inside of a box, which is not normally how I go about writing music. So I think that was a big challenge there.
That's awesome to hear. I love that perspective of like scoring something, usually you're writing music for yourself or how you feel. But when you are scoring something for somebody else, you're taking their art and having to apply music to it without bias. And that's incredible. Great job. Really proud of you, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Go on YouTube or Roku, search. What is it again?
It is Max and Patrick cartoon, and you're gonna find it there.
I'll link it in the show notes. We'll put it in the show notes, and
Absolutely.
I'll link both to the channel, and then also if you go on the up videos section there, you can click on the Revenant Renegades 2022 Halloween special.
There you go.
Absolutely. Shout out to Max Bundles.
Yep.
The creator and 90% of the voices for the show. So,
And newest subscriber to the Nerd Rundown, right?
yeah, absolutely. I'll
Put it in the contract.
If Max needs voices, I'll be happy to.
Eric can
Oh man,
definitely supply the voice.
Dude, I'd let you voice over anything. So yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, very, very excited for you, Amberetta May.
Thank
Great job. You obviously have a big piece of this show, with the theme song. So get big so that we can make this show big too.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're relying on you.
Don't do that. Don't do
Let's
that.
get to the Nerd Box. Nerd Box question comes in this week from Meg, or our Meg. She writes in
The lady of the show.
the lady of the show. Yeah, that's what we should just always refer to her as the
Right.
lady. The lady of the show writes in the spirit of October and scary movies.
Yeah.
What is one scary movie that has messed you up for life, or at least a few weeks? And how old were you when you saw it? She did not give her answer, but I know she'll just comment in the comments anyway, and we need those. So thanks, Meg. Eric, you get some off the top of your dome for this?
Yeah, I had to think about this because there was a couple there's been a couple, like, so I'm not a horror or scary movie type person, but there's been a couple that really kind of got me. I want to say, like, when I was younger, and I want to say I probably was like 7 or 8 when I saw it. But The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing with Kurt Russell, man, that terrified me. Like, just the thought of not knowing, like, who was the thing, was just really, really scary. I was like, man, I don't just, it was pretty scary. It was really scary. I would think then in like 97, so I would have been 22, I think, maybe 21 at that point.
Don't age yourself.
Yeah. Event Horizon with Lawrence Fishburne and Sam Neill. That scene, there's a couple scenes where people are like walking around without any eyeballs, and it's just, man, that was terrifying. Like, and I was like in my 20s when that happened, so that was not, that was just, man, that was crazy. I think, and then the last one I will go with is also 2007's The Mist with
I had that in my mind. Yeah.
With Thomas Jane and Andre Braugher. Actually, a really great cast. That was a really great cast. But I think the way that one ended just really kind of messed me up. I was like, oh my gosh, because I could totally see feeling that same way, the way the way that one ended, being like, all right, I'm not going to let this happen. So,
right.
So yeah, so just scary. How about you? What do you got?
I got a few answers. One is for Banana. Banana always talks about she watched Invasion of the Body Snatchers as a kid, and then she never touched the floor for like 3 months after that. I think she climbed across the bathroom counter and onto the toilet from there. So I have to throw that in there for her because that messed her. She always talks about how that messed her up for a while. But as a kid, it really messed me up for a while. The spider movie. What was the spider? Is Arachnophobia?
Arachnophobia. That's mine.
Yeah, that one messed you up.
Yes, so bad.
I could not like sit as a kid where like a wall was behind me for a while because I thought a spider was going to crawl up the wall and jump on me.
Most likely
did. It probably did into my mouth. Like I eat 9 spiders a year or something.
Yeah.
I still cannot put like a blanket or even like dry off with a towel without like shaking it and looking at both sides of the thing before I put it. Because I'm always afraid that if I wrap myself in it, I'm just gonna get things crawling on me. Arachnophobia messed me. I saw it in the drive-in movie theater when I had to have been somewhere between 6 and 8 years old.
Yeah,
and it was like apparently it was the only thing showing for a very long time because I think we saw it 2 or 3 times in the
oh my gosh.
and every time that messed me up, man. I still squeal at little spiders that are around.
Oh man, I'm glad I'm not scared of spiders now. But
Oh,
there's a little bit of me like when I see them, I'm like, I just get a little jumpy around. But
Oh
then
no, I'll get my composure, but
if you see the right type of spider, it'll scare the shit out of you. Trust me.
yeah,
Because I this was back in like, I don't know, 2005, 2006 time or frame, but I was dating this girl, and we went to her aunt and uncle's place in Rifle, and I remember I had gone into the bathroom, and as I'm
that's deep in the mountains for you
it's actually it's the western slope of the mountains. So I'm going to the bathroom, and I happen to look up on the wall, and there's a black widow spider sitting on the wall, and I was like, I can't like let this go. So I finished doing what I needed to do, so I'm like, I can't really like leave this thing there. So I like get some toilet paper and I wad it up.
Pee on it?
Yeah. And I like go to smash it, and I think I smash it, but I don't. And it drops down behind the toilet. So you have like the towel rack.
No.
And I swear to God, it was like a movie. Like, I slowly pull the towel to see if I can see it on the backside, and sure enough, it just comes crawling right over the edge of it. And I was like, oh
no way.
Dude, I initially thought this was gonna be that snakes on a plane moment where you're and that black widow spider just jumps off the wall.
I thought for sure it was going to, dude. But like, as soon as I'm like slowly pulling the towel down, and sure enough, as I pull it, it comes crawling up over the other edge of it. It's like, and I was like,
got him.
Yeah, got him. Right.
Man, that's great. Yeah, arachnophobia. But as an adult, like, I've said this many times on the show before, but I slept with the lights on the night I watched Paranormal Activity.
Really?
But I have two big time fears, like irrational fears. I don't even know if they're rational, but I hate snakes more than anything in this world. I'll deal with spiders well before I deal with snakes. And demons. I'm really afraid of demons. And I really just don't think I can do anything against a demon, so I'm really afraid of that.
Have you watched Frailty?
Well,
Have
I think
this conversation.
No, I don't think we have. I'm not watching any more demon stuff, Eric. It all stemmed from The Sixth Sense, because I was fairly around that kid's age in that movie.
I mean, I think I've told you all this before, but I love horror movies.
Yeah, have.
We know you're sick.
Yeah. You love horror movies and
adult cartoons.
Adult, yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. Yep. So for anybody that wants to watch some actually pretty awesome scary movies, if you haven't seen them, newer ones, In the Tall Grass, I would watch that. Okay. I would watch His House. They're more like psychological horror than they are slasher or
slasher sucks. Slasher's not scary.
I don't think slasher's scary either. No, I don't care for slasher films at all. Those two are the ones.
I will mess Michael Myers up. Okay.
Yeah, right.
What the hell is he going to do against me?
Have you seen Frailty?
I don't think anybody knows how tall Darren actually is.
Yeah.
That's a big dude, man.
Both of you are. Both you guys are tall.
I thought I was a big dude, and last time I ran into that guy, I was like, I forgot you were bigger than me.
Jason, have you seen Frailty?
Yeah, I have.
With Bill Paxton and
is it a demon story?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Yeah, it does.
You're not gonna tell me if it is or isn't.
I'm not gonna tell you if it's a demon movie. You need to watch it.
Like a ghost? Is it like ghosts? Demons?
You need to watch it.
And
nobody gets out alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not what I want to watch.
Right.
It's a twisted movie. I'll just tell you that way. But it's
Frailty.
Frailty.
I mean, we're right around Halloween here, so if you can't, well, at least one or or two
Oh man,
to watch.
Banana and I watched Scream recently. It was so good to revisit that movie and how just how groundbreaking that movie was. Not groundbreaking, but
think it's
first of all,
still
how
ranked as-
self-aware it is. Like I didn't realize how self-aware it is.
Yeah,
Were you,
it's supposed to be, I think, still one of the top slasher films ever made.
Yeah.
yeah, again, not scary, just like
Not
it's
my
such
favorite,
a good
but-
movie.
Did you watch Cabin in the Woods?
I did watch Kevin. I wasn't a fan of that movie.
It's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
It's one of the dumbest things.
That's
It's
a
so
Joss
good.
Whedon one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Joss
Yeah.
Whedon.
Oh yeah, but, I
Um,
mean, oh my gosh.
I haven't watched it, so I don't spoil it for me. I
Oh,
do,
you
I
haven't
do have
watched
it on
it?
my I do have it on my list of
Think-
things to watch.
I
so.
honestly think I could go off on that for a full episode of this show.
I think Eric, you'd probably like it
One
actually.
day, let's do
Yeah.
it.
It's got a big twist. Oh man. All right. Well, good question, Meg. Leave your answer in the comments. YouTube Morg. I know we're waiting on your answer with bated breath. What scares Morg? Because he loves his zombies. So
Yeah.
it won't be that. But thanks, Jay. I keep calling you. I keep wanting to call you Jason Sparksy. Jay Sparks, not Jason Sparksy.
That's cool too. I'm now Jason Sparksy.
Jay Sparks from Beretta May, the man who is behind our theme song,
Yes.
back on the show after a very long time of being busy.
Been too long. Sorry.
Thanks for freeing your schedule and gracing us with your presence. We appreciate it always.
Yeah, buddy.
Love being here, guys. Thank you so much for allowing me to do so.
No, well, we love having you. Looking forward to all the things on this. This wasn't a negative rundown. This was a really positive. I like positive rundowns.
I'm excited.
Even with DC in there.
Yeah, even with it's like positive DC news. It's like not Walter Hamada leaving.
That might be the
later.
first time ever.
All right. Well, with that being said, we'll see you all next week on the Nerd Rundown.
See ya.